Guys, how's it going? Welcome back. All decked out. So today we're gonna do the Chrony and another accuracy test. Now that I've gotten a little bit more used to this gun, so anyways, and a review on the Winchester Daisy Model 11 or M11 they call it. Anyway, so I've had this gun for not quite a week, anyways. But I've been having some fun with it nonetheless, figuring out good points and bad points about it. And so we're going to go through that. Now, today for the ammo, we are actually going to run these Crosman Black Widow BBs. I've got a little weight scale so I can test, weights of different ammos. And they're the same weight as the Crosman BBs. Now, I have shot Crosman through this gun. Umarex BBs, and I want to see what the difference is with these Black Widows too. So we picked up a couple of bottles of these things yesterday. So the other thing I want to do is actually show you how to load the CO2 in this gun. So this has like a little flap thing here that you pull back, pull down, the grip will start to come up. And then what you want to do is get a drop or two of oil onto the seal first. Okay, so because you can get at this one real easy, I just use one of these little bottles. Now I use 30 weight non-detergent motor oil in my BB and pellet guns because it works the best. I've had the best longevity of seals too using this stuff. And we'll get a bottle of Crosman CO2. So this goes in just like so. You got to kind of finagle this one a little bit, so it's got to go down in. There's like a little cutout thing here, so down in like so, like this. Make sure it's lined up, and then you got to kind of rotate and squish at the same time. It's a little bit of a chore to do this. There we go, into place. So the first thing I'm going to say is, for kids, like little kids that are going to be shooting these under supervision, this gun is going to be very hard to ignite that CO2. It's going to take a parent to do it. If you're a teenager, you shouldn't have any problems though. So anyways, we've also got a clip or magazine fully loaded and ready to go. So we'll go turn on our chronograph. We'll zoom in on it as well so you can see what kind of numbers we're getting. I have not chronied this gun yet, so I have no idea what the actual speed's going to be. What I do know is with blowback guns you do lose some horsepower. So I will be in front of the Chrony when I initially shoot, but I'll step back in order to show you the numbers. Alright, so let's put about, say, 6 shots through this. So pull back the slide, release. So 391. 384. 79, 72, 373, 363. One more just for good measure. 363. Okay. Get the chronograph out of the way. I am going to be shooting from 15 feet away. We've been finding, even with my other BB guns here, I've got the MCP as well as the Temfoglio. These guns work best at about 15 feet for distance. So let's zoom out, and I'll be just right in front of the camera here. Now you will want to put a white dot on the front sight, which I've done. And we're out. Let's take a look at our results. Well, we're definitely shooting to the right a lot on this. So let me reload the clip and we'll give her another go. These Black Widows don't seem to be quite as accurate as the Crossmans. So I'm going to actually load some Crossmans in, and actually let's put up a brand new target so that we know we got a clean target, and we'll try the Crossmans at 15 feet and see what kind of difference we get. Okay guys, brand new target, fully loaded, now running Crossman Copperhead BBs. The Black Widows didn't impress me as much as I thought they would. But again, your gun will choose the ammo it works the best with. So again, from 15 feet, see what we can do, if anything. How many rounds have I got left? A couple. Let's see where we're at. Well, that's better. Okay. Yeah, let's just stay here. And we're out. Alright, let's zoom in on our target, see what we accomplished. It does take a lot to get used to a blowback pistol, I'll say that. And because this is a lot heavier gun than even a PPK, I used to do really good with the PPK. Very light, still had some good blowback to it, but it was a little more easier to control, I guess. So, we've got, looks like a 9 and 8, in between a 9 and an 8, 7. So the grouping actually isn't bad. We've got a couple of stray shots down in here, and up in top. We've got a 6, a 7, and another 6. But we've got pretty decently in here. I mean, it's a BB gun. They're smoothbore barrels. They're not the most accurate. Now, we are going to be ordering in some, let me just zoom out the camera here. So we're going to be ordering in some of these things, they call them dust devils. They don't work in all BB guns. Some of them, in fact, will just explode when you fire the gun, so you don't know until you try, I guess. But we're going to try the dust devils out, see how they do in all of our BB guns. But I do like how the Crossmans are working compared to the Black Widows. They're the same weight of BB. I find that the texture of the Black Widows is actually a little rougher in comparison to the copperhead, copper-coated BBs from Crossman. And of course the Umarex BBs, they're a little bit lighter by about 0.2 of a grain. So you're looking at Crossmans and Black Widows from Crossman at 5.4 grain and 5.2 for the Humorex. I think that's how it worked, or it was the other way around. I'll reconfirm those weights for you. But anyways, either way, you're about a 0.2 of a grain difference, which really isn't that much when you think about it. What makes a difference, of course, is how spherical they are in their roundness, as well as how smooth they are. And copperheads have been around forever, right? And I've always had really decent luck with copperheads in pretty much any gun I've shot them out of. So they're always been a good BB for me. But anyways, now as far as the gun goes though, we're looking at about a decent 370s for the most part, you know, which is pretty good. I do like the all-metal construction of this. Now there is a little bit of plastic on this. The alleged handle safety is a fake on this gun. Apparently they did fix that in, there's another Daisy model out that came out not that long ago, I guess, and apparently they fixed that where it actually functions. The double lock safety system, now you just push straight up to put it in safe, but then you push down on the button and push down and take it off safe. The slide will lock back when you are out of ammo. You do have a real working metal slide release. Okay, you can safety decock the gun by holding the hammer back, squeezing the trigger, gently lifting up, and you can decock the gun. So that's not a problem. We do have plastic grips, so the grips are plastic. Your so-called handle safety is also plastic on this thing. What else did we find on this thing? I think that was pretty much, well, of course your barrel shrouding, your outer barrel shroud, that's going to be plastic. But as far as the outsides of the gun goes, there's very little plastic on this thing at all. And the mag, of course, is plastic. Now, I'm not too fussy about the mag. It's not that bad as far as loading goes. It's actually pretty decent. It's not that it's difficult. You just hold the slider down, rock it forward at the bottom, and then of course you turn the mag upside down, load in your 16 rounds, flick it, and you're ready to rock and roll. But the plastic mag is something that is going to be a bit of a weak point. It does have a little bit of flimsy to it, otherwise not bad. So I think as far as something that Daisy should be upgrading in this, considering it's a really nice gun overall, they really got to step up their game on their mags, because even Crossman and other companies are using like all metal mags where it's an integrated valve, as well as, you know, some of them are integrated valves, but even just the mag alone, you know, they're metal, right? Even in even the Humorex MCP, as well as the 10 Folio, these are metal mags in them, right? Which is good, it's quality, right? So if you're gonna go that extra mile for your customer, go the extra mile. And now these two guns, of course, are all plastic, right? So this one's metal. But nonetheless, the catch release for the mag is also very sensitive on this gun. So if you're a left-handed shooter like me, and you're going to hold your finger away from the trigger, right, for safety purposes, it doesn't take much to drop your mag. Now, right-handed people, on the other hand, they're fine with it. Everybody I've watched who's right-handed has had no problem with it. And because your thumb, unless you can reach, you're not dropping that mag too easy. So a lot of guys have to actually rotate the gun this way and then drop their mag out. But lefty shooters, we got a little bit more of a thing, so I just kind of try and hold my finger outward a bit, because you're supposed to be squeezing the trigger anyways. You're not like jerking it, right? You got to squeeze and chow, right? As fast as you can squeeze the trigger, you can empty a clip. So this is a single action pistol, all right? You can manually cock the hammer to start your first fire, or you can pull the slide back, of course, and I just held down the slide catch for that, and then it'll automatically cock it. And so every shot you take, it recocks the gun. So that's kind of cool. You can field strip this gun. I've actually watched some videos on how to field strip this thing. which was kind of interesting to watch and actually not that difficult. Now, I think as far as the overall accuracy goes, after all, it is a BB gun, so you're not going to get marksman quality targeting out of this thing, you know, but it's a fun gun regardless. Now, as far as what I paid for my gun, I paid $139 at Canadian Tire in North Bay for this thing. It would have been nice if it was on sale, because usually you can save 50 to 75% off. Sometimes even 30% is a great savings. I think as far as the main gun itself goes, as far as price-wise, I think, you know, considering it is a kind of a bit of a flimsy, it's not that it's weak or anything, it's just kind of, it's plasticky, right? If that was metal, it would be even better. You know, I'd still stick with the same design, but in metal. They do have to work on their whole sensitivity issue with the release, though, because that's way too sensitive. That should be a much stiffer spring in there, so it's not so easy to release the clip. Now, as far as loading CO2 goes into this gun, like I said at the beginning of the video, for little kids, forget it. So, you know, I mean, little kids need to be supervised anyhow, so it should be up to mom or dad to load the CO2. It is a little bit of a different thing, but I do like the design, though. It beats fiddling around with those twist crank, you know, type of systems like what's in these two guns and many others. So it is kind of nice. It's pre-fixed as far as pressure goes, so you're not going to get too much pressure against that seal, which means your seal should hopefully last you longer, so because you have no way of over-torquing the pressure, and a lot of people are bad for that. So I do actually appreciate the system style of how they've got the ignition system for your bottle set up. I do appreciate that. And they do have a nice heavy-duty white seal in here too, so the seal should last you a long time. Do remember too to always put a drop or two of oil on that seal. Usually about every second power lead is good. Now, someone's going to ask me this question. I'm going to tell you straight up. Do not leave CO2 in this gun long term. Okay, I mean, a week or two is not a bad thing, but not for extended periods of time. A lot of guns can handle it, yes, but this is not the design factor of one of them that can. Given the valve design on this thing, it is not going to do well in the long haul situation, in my opinion, for long-term storage of gas. Same would go for your MCP and your Tanfoglio. These are also guns with valve designs that are not going to be friendly for long-term CO2 storage, especially if you have a lot of gas left over, you know, and the more pressure that's there, the more volatile it's going to be to the valve. I have had 2 PPKs explode on me just by having gas in them, and they weren't in there for like extended amounts of time, like for months and months on end. You know, it actually didn't take as long as I thought it would take longer, but it really wasn't that great. And there is no repairing those valves. You have to actually buy a whole new valve and replace the valve. But anyways, I think in the overall picture of this particular gun, suitable wise, it's more of a teenage level suitable gun as far as size and weight goes. Not really for little kids, okay? You know, so again, one thing I want to actually start emphasizing on my channel is we have rules in Canada, one of which is nobody under 18 is allowed to purchase one of these things. Anybody who is under 18 must be supervised by an adult, okay, that is 18 of age or older, okay? So teenagers, though, would be okay with this gun. They would probably really like it. I've seen a lot of videos on this gun. A lot of people actually really do like the gun. Not too many people have much to complain about on it, and I tend to agree. You know, there's really not a lot to really complain about the gun. But I would suggest that when you're done shooting it for the day, regardless of what's left in there for gas, empty the gas out, unless, like I said, a week or two is not a bad thing. You know, it'll hold its pressure, and you can rifle off the, you know, couple of clips later on. You do get quite a few clips, though, per bottle. Now, with the Crosman bottles, I've had no problem putting 6 clips through this thing, or 6 mags, okay, and still had power left over to just run into my 7th, and then I had to start actually manually cocking the hammer back and firing the gun at that point. But gas-wise, it's actually really respectable, considering that's a lot of slide to move back, even comparison to a PPK. The PPKs, I think we used to get about 150 shots out of those things, but the last probably 30 shots were like single action ones, you know, so the slide just didn't have enough pressure to kick back. But I would say, you know, as far as price point goes, the price actually could be somewhere around the neighborhood, I think, for a gun like this anyways. I think the price for Canadian dollar wise should be probably about $100, $110 would be more of a reasonable price. Finding extra mags, even in Canada, can be a little bit of a challenge, although I did find a place or two that had them. So I actually ordered, I think it was 4 extras for this gun. I think it was 4. Anyways, they should be here in a couple more days. So definitely buy extra magazines for it, because one can get boring, but you know, and you got to take time to reload it, right? So get yourself a bunch of extras, preload them up, and you know, have some kind of a pocket system. Now I got my, you know, like little vest here, and I can actually keep a boatload of them actually right into this pocket. So kind of fun stuff, right? But anyhow, star rating though, I would probably say this gun, in my opinion anyways, deserves an easy 4 out of 5. It is definitely not perfect, right? We do have, of course, very sensitive release. We do have a plastic mag that I think they could have done a better job on the mag system on this. Make it a full dropout with an integrated CO2 bottle and have your valve even integrated. This way, you know, even for valves, because valves are something that, you know, can cost you money down the road in some guns, right? If you had it integrated to the mag, at least the valve would be a type where you could probably rebuild the valve while waiting, you know, you get a couple extra mags, right? And if you do blow a valve, you're still in business, then you can order the parts to rebuild your first one, or whichever one went down on you, and that would be practical. So, and a lot more companies I find are actually doing it that way, and I think that's actually one of the best ways, because then you got a whole integrated system. It is money saving, and you get heavy duty systems for, you know, having an integrated loader, or even without an integrated loader. You know, where you have like your CP88s. I mean, CP88, it's into the handle, but if they made it as a dropout system, you know, that'd be kind of cool. And just saying, you know, it's my opinion. But yeah, you do have a little bit of plastic on this. The mag is one thing that I'm going to pick on just a little bit, okay? Definitely the catch release. A lot of people do complain that the catch release is very, very sensitive, and they're right. That needs a much stiffer spring. I have no problem with plastic handles. That doesn't bother me one bit. The fact that they did this and didn't activate it, I can't really pick on it. Although, you know, the rest of the gun is metal. Why didn't they do this? Now, there is a little bit more plastic too, and that's in your enclosure here for your loader. Part of this is got some plastic on it, which is not a big deal. But you know, it is a cool gun, you know, and I guess they can only do so much metal, otherwise it would really drive the price up completely nuts. And let's say it is a BB gun, right? It's not a pellet gun. Otherwise, I'm quite happy with it. You know, I think it's a really decent gun overall. It's a fun gun too. I find, as far as fun factor goes, I like blowback mechanisms, and it does make it very challenging with a blowback to get any kind of decent accuracy. It's going to take you a lot of practice, because, you know, you're going to be building up wrist muscles over time and learning to be more and more steady and getting used to that kickback. So blowback guns are kind of cool for that, and it's realism, right? So if you like the realism part of things, this is going to give you some realism, which is fun. But anyways, that's what I've got for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and now we have the gun chronied. As far as speed-wise goes, I don't see where there's going to be any real difference between Black Widows and the copperheads. Maybe one of these days I'll get around to testing that out to see, but they're the same exact weight, so there shouldn't be a speed difference. but there may be a speed difference based on the fact that the finish on the Black Widows are a little rougher, where the copperheads are extremely smooth. So that might be the leading edge of the copperheads. And we know that the copperheads are actually more accurate. So maybe we'll revisit this in a while, and we'll do a Chrony difference and see what the big difference is. But at least we know what we've seen today, and I think the results speak for themselves. It is pretty decent gun for output too. But there you go. So thanks again, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I've got a lot more gun stuff coming for you guys this summer, and I do mean a lot. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's been a long time since I've really been able to really get into the gun stuff, and since last year when I got back in full force once again. I never really left guns. I just kind of didn't do so much stuff, right? But yeah, the bug has hit, guys. So thanks a lot. Catch you on the next one.